I'm going to call the regular council public hearing meeting to order and ask for a resolution, please, to move forward corporate report number 209 as our sustainability staff.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Adoption of the minutes.
Move the minutes be adopted for September 28th for special council.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move the land use minutes September 28th.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And move the minutes be received public hearing September 28th.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Corporate report R209 dealing with the compact of mayors.
Move the report.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And for those that are listening, that is relative to an expansion of our sustainability charter and the work that we're currently doing and moving that forward as a pact. And I expect that will be going to Paris with many of the mayors come the end of the year. Delegations and presentations, I would like to announce the inaugural Poet Laureate for the City of Surrey, and I am delighted to welcome Renee Sarajini Saklikar as the inaugural Poet Laureate for our city. Renee is the winner of the Canadian Authors Award and a finalist for a BC Book Prize. She is one of 3 national advocates for the Writers' Union of Canada and a member of the League of Canadian Poets. As Surrey's very first Poet Laureate, Renee will act as our literary ambassador by promoting literature and the arts and engaging with the people of Surrey through participation in many of our civic events and festivals, programs, and other initiatives. And with her passion of connecting people through poetry, Renee will work to create a legacy program of poetry outreach that is multilingual and intercultural in partnership with local organizations right here in Surrey and offer writing consultations to local writers. Congratulations, Renee, and we wish you the very best of success. Could you please, thank you, and could you just say your last name so that I can more appropriately express it?
Sure. My name is Renee Sarajini Saklikar, and it is such an honor, Your Worship. I thank the City of Surrey and all the people behind it. We have a great group of Surrey people here, so yay Surrey and yay poetry.
Councillor Villeneuve.
Well, Madam Mayor, I want to recognize the fact that this initiative came through our Cultural Committee, and it was actually Heidi Greco, who's a well-known poet. Is Heidi in the audience? She brought it forward to the Cultural Committee and suggested that Surrey is a big city now and we need a Poet Laureate. So I want to thank you, Heidi, for doing that. The committee thought it was a wonderful idea, and the library with Melody Holden and a selection panel worked looking at the applications, and I understand it was a hard adjudication process. But we're very, very excited, I think, to have this kind of literary representation for the City of Surrey. And I want to thank you, congratulate you for winning, and Heidi for bringing it to our attention that it's the thing to do. So thank you very much for your efforts and for all of you being here tonight. Thank you.
Congratulations, Renee, and we're so delighted that you'll be our very first Poet Laureate here in the City of Surrey. I should make all of the councillors rhyme the meeting this evening. Moving on to the public hearing portion of the evening, could I have first delegation public hearing, Madam Clerk?
First application is zoning amendment bylaw number 18528. The address is 14674 St. Andrews Drive. The applicants are Gerald and Hannelore Van Wingarden. The applicant is seeking to rezone the property from 1 acre residential to single-family residential. The applicant is proposing to subdivide into 2 single-family lots.
I have no one signed up to speak to this bylaw. I believe we have correspondence on table in opposition to the bylaw. Is there anyone wishing to speak to this bylaw? Number 1. First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Next bylaw is official community plan text amendment bylaw 18498. These amendments will align the land use designations within the West Clayton Neighbourhood Concept Plan with those in the official community plan as described in Corporate Report 2015 R168.
I have no one wishing to speak to this bylaw. Is there anyone wishing to come forward? First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Is zoning text amendment bylaw 18499. These amendments include amenity contributions for the West Clayton Neighbourhood Concept Plan in Schedule F and G in the zoning bylaw, as described in Corporate Report 2015 R168.
I have no one signed up for this bylaw. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 3? First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Is land use contract number 57 termination bylaw number 18506. The address is 8585 123rd Street. The purpose is to terminate land use contract number 57 to permit the existing underlying light impact industrial zone to come into effect.
I have no one signed up wishing to speak to this bylaw. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 4? First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Is land use contract number 60, termination bylaw 18507. The addresses are 12251 and 12261 88th Avenue. And this is to terminate land use contract number 60 to permit the existing underlying light impact industrial zone to come into effect.
Thank you. I have no one signed up to speak to this bylaw. Anyone wishing to? First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Is land use contract number 309, termination bylaw number 18509. The addresses are 12178, 88, 90, 9294, 98, 12204, 0608, 12210, 12212, 14 and 16, 86th Avenue. The purpose is to terminate land use contract number 309 to permit the existing underlying light impact industrial zone to come into effect.
Again, for this land use contract bylaw, I have no one wishing to speak. First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Land use contract number 542, termination bylaw number 18510. The civic address is 13267 72nd Avenue. The purpose is to terminate land use contract number 542 to permit the existing underlying light impact industrial zone to come into effect.
I have no one wishing to speak to this bylaw or signed up to speak. Is there anyone wishing to? First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Land use contract number 406, termination bylaw 18511. The addresses are 1327999, 13301, and 13321, 72nd Avenue. And this is to terminate land use contract number 406 to permit the existing underlying light impact industrial zone to come into effect.
There is no one signed up to speak to this bylaw. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 8? First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Land use contract number 156, termination bylaw number 18525. The address is 19580 Telegraph Trail. Purpose is to terminate land use contract number 156 to permit the existing underlying light impact industrial zone to come into effect.
There is no one signed up to speak to this bylaw. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 9? First call, second call, third and final call. Last bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Land use contract number 339, termination bylaw number 18527. The addresses are 7660, 7680, 90, 7714, 2842, and 46 134th Street, and 13447, 13557, and 66 77th Avenue. This is to terminate land use contract number 339 to permit the underlying zone to come into effect. The underlying zone for the properties located at 13557 and 13566 77th Avenue is Highway Commercial Industrial Zone, and the remaining properties are zoned Light Impact Industrial.
There's no one signed up to speak to this bylaw. Is there anyone wishing to? First call, second call, third and final call. That concludes the public hearing portion of our agenda. Thank you very much. And many of those land use contracts will be coming forward to this council as we implement those underlying zones and eliminate land use contract as from within the city. Committee reports.
Move minutes be received for Transportation Infrastructure, September 11th, 2015.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Public Art Advisory Committee.
Move the minutes be received at the Public Art Advisory Committee.
Second.
September 17th.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move the minutes be received for the Board of Variance, September the 9th.
So, Madam Mayor, on table, we've got these committee meetings on table for dated July 20th, so move those minutes.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Board meetings, Board of Variance.
Move the minutes be received, September the 9th.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Mayor's report. I only have one proclamation tonight, and that is the Surrey International Writers Conference Week, October 19 through 25. Whereas over 8,000 writers have participated in the Surrey International Writers Conference since 1993, and whereas these authors, writers, screenwriters, and poets come together annually at the Surrey International Writers Conference to hone their skills, share their experiences, and celebrate their successes through the Surrey International Writers Conference. And whereas within the city of Surrey, the International Writers Conference Society celebrates 23 years of service to the writing community through their conference to be held October 19 through 25 at the Sheraton Vancouver Guildford Hotel, where writers can learn, experience, share, and nurture the art of creativity through writing. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Linda Hepner, do hereby declare the week of October 19 through 25 as Surrey International Writers Conference Week in the city of Surrey, in recognition of the positive impact this event has made in our community and to writers across North America since 1993. Corporate reports.
I'll move the recommendation for the Mayor's participation in the Premier's trade mission to China.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried.
And I'll move the recommendation on R200.
Second.
On the South Surrey Rail Relocation Project, and Councillor Villeneuve.
Thank you very much. Well, I want to thank staff for bringing forward a report on the next steps in the community's endeavour for rail relocation in our city. And I think it's very important to acknowledge that the staff went to great lengths to outline what the process will be and exactly how we'd like to handle the public consultation process as well, which will be coming back. So it was really pointed out that community access, noise disruption, public safety, bluff erosion, dangerous goods movement, incident management, and environmental concerns are forming the basis of the rationale of why the city wants to work in partnership with the City of White Rock and the province to apply for the Federal Rail Relocation Act to move the tracks for the BNSF railway because of the impacts and because of its growing business as well. And certainly I think those steps were outlined well, and I think that certainly the money that would cost $340 million, the estimates, etc., seem large. But in reality, I think as we go through the process, we will realize that we will find partners and that much of the money that we will be spending can be recouped with a successful endeavor. For example, all money spent, including the initial $700,000 and all the other reports, will be considered part of the project, and therefore a portion of all the money will be recoupable. And BNSF will end up a shorter, faster rail route, and probably then will economically benefit them. And then those will be factors that will be factored into the costs that we'll be spending and repaid on that level. And what's ever left over then can be split amongst the federal government and as well, because they have an opportunity for cost sharing if the rail relocation has justification. So I know that lots of numbers have been bandied about, and I want to recognize Hannah Newman that has done some cost estimation on some of this, as well as Mary Jane Bennett, for us really realizing that this is a project that is attainable. So the cost of approximately $400 million, but to put it in perspective, that the BNSF spent $550 billion on rail infrastructure in 2014 alone. So I think it's a project that, if we can justify, is something that we can not only dream about but realize it. And not only does it have a benefit for the communities that are heavily impacted from a safety reason and quality of life, but it also has a benefit for the entire Metro Vancouver region. Because if we can open up the corridor, and that's one of the stipulations, is that you can talk about the public amenity that would be provided, that we would have a fabulous walkway all the way from Crescent Beach to White Rock, which would connect into all of our trail systems all the way through Richmond and into Vancouver. So I think it's not only a dream, but it's a reasonable project that is attainable. And I really like to thank staff for taking this initiative seriously, because there's a lot of people in the community that have a strong interest in it. And I'd really appreciate it if you would send this report to the ratepayers organizations, as well as White Rock Council and the province, because we want them to be a partner. But I do believe that they'll want to be a partner, seeing the economic benefit to the province as well.
Thank you, Councillor Villeneuve, for those comments. I did share this report with the Mayor of White Rock prior to it, just to make sure that they understood that it was based on the Mary Jane Bennett report that they had commissioned, and some of the work and the meetings that we had also had with that with her as well, and the technical work that is required in order to advance the process that she spoke of. So I appreciate all the work that's been done thus far, but there is much work yet to do, and this report, I think, very clearly outlines the process by which we can get those technical the details in place in order to make sure that when we do make that application, it has every opportunity of success. And I would like to have that, to reiterate that we could send it to the City of White Rock in a formal fashion, but in an informal fashion rather. I have already done that. Okay. I'll call the question.
May I just ask
a
question?
Certainly.
This is a big initiative, and so I'd just like to ask staff, out of curiosity, are you going to be appointing someone to lead the project, or to help, because bringing the partners together and talking about the next steps, I think, is something that's going to have a lead on this project?
Through the Mayor, yes, we will be trying to coordinate that and making sure that we can, with a consensus, move ahead with the leader of this project. Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried.
Move corporate report R201 sponsorship request in the amount of $7,000 for the Diwali Dhamaaka for Red FM.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move corporate report R202, sponsorship request, $5,000 for the lighted Santa parade and $4,000 for the big rigs for kids.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move corporate report R203, the quarterly financial for third quarter ending.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Corporate report R204.
Oh, just one moment, Councillor Gill. I have Councillor Woods. You're speaking to the financial report.
Yes, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to compliment staff with regards to this report. I found it really interesting, and I felt there had been a lot of work put into it, and it was very informative. I did have an opportunity to speak with the General Manager of Finance and Technology, and she gave me a little further clarification on a couple of points. But obviously Surrey's having a banner year in terms of growth and development, and hats off to staff with the way that the city budget is being managed. It's nice to see. As a resident of Surrey, I think we're in very good shape. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Yes, we're always getting awards for our financial reporting, so it's nice to see another successful one. The Newton Recreation Centre Public Art Project, R205.
Madam Mayor, did we pass R204?
Oh, did we pass the...
Did we do that one?
Do I need to call the question on R204? Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Now moving on to the Public Art Newton Rec Centre.
I'll move the recommendation.
Second.
Madam Mayor.
All those in favor? Councillor Villeneuve, before I call that question.
Okay, just speaking to this project. This project is a public art piece. It's going to be part of the expansion of the Newton Recreation Centre, which is going to be a beautiful new addition. And so the artist has been chosen through a selection panel, and they'll be working with the architect and design staff, and it's going to be part of the Windows project. So I think it's going to be a wonderful addition to the Newton Recreation Square area, and well accepted by the community, and within a budget that the project has been able to use at 1.25% of the public art policy.
Thank you. Nice to see the face of Newton changing. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move corporate report R206, recommendation of West Village Parking District Energy Plant.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move corporate report R207, appointment improving officer.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move corporate report R208, Grandview Heights Aquatic Center construction, additional expenditure authority.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And when you hear additional expenditure authority, it's not outside of the monies that were budgeted. It's just now releasing those funds.
Madam Mayor, just to clarify, I think that this particular project was under budget, and the General Manager of Finance can confirm that as well. The entire project, yes.
Maybe doesn't want to do that right this minute. Confirm that we're under budget before we're done.
Madam Mayor, we are indeed under budget, and just to give a bit of information for Councillor Gill, is we used the opportunity of having two pools project happening at the same time, not to excuse the pun, to pool some of the acquisition. So we bought some equipment directly from the supplier through our purchasing colleagues, and we saved quite a bit of money, because we didn't have to pay any markup to either the general contractor or the trade. So that's not showing in that specific contract with Ellis done. Those were done outside to save quite a bit of money, and it helped us to be under budget.
That will be really nice to see when that project is finished. We're all excited about that, around my house for sure anyway.
Yes.
R209 we have dealt with, so I'm going to move into the business arising from the public hearing, H1.
Move third on H1.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move third on H2.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move third on H3.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move third on H4.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move final.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move third on 5.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move final.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move third on 6.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
And move final.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move third on 7.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move final.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move third on 8.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move final.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move third on 9.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move final.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move third on 10.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move final.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
I'll move development variance permit 0295 be approved.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
And move development variance permit 0138 be approved.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
And development variance 0203 be approved.
Second.
Temporary use, sorry.
No.
That's on 13.
Yeah, all those in favor, opposed, carried. Sorry, we had one withdrawn this afternoon. I was just making sure it wasn't that one.
It wasn't that one.
Yeah. 14.
This is 14.
Primary.
I'm not sure. What are we supposed to move on that? It doesn't say.
Recommends the issuance of the liquor license amendment application, subject to the following.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
On 15, move the council support the issuance of a TUP 7915021100. And once the outstanding conditions have been met,
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
final adoption
Final.
on 16.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Final adoption on 17.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Final adoption 18.
All those in favor, opposed,
Final
carried.
adoption 19.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Final adoption 20.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Final adoption 21.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
And move the appointments of the parking patrollers
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
and the resolution for the Gala of Hope.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
And on table, Madam
And-
Mayor, we have a delegation request. I propose that we receive them in CIC.
CIC.
First,
Second.
Yes, now this is an update on the World Championship. Do we want them in an afternoon meeting, or do we want to present it in an evening meeting? Want to hear them first in the afternoon, Mr. Parks and Rec Chair?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I think that would be appropriate.
Is that more appropriate from your perspective? Okay. All those in favor, opposed, carried. And in the absence of Councillor Gill, who is my alternate, I need a second alternate for a meeting that will be happening in my absence. And
I'll
that-
move Councillor Vera LaFranc take that position.
Do I have a seconder? All those in favor, opposed, carried. And that is it.
I think I'll move adjournment.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.